All right, we are live. That was quick. Hey, everybody. Charlie88 is already here. I can't wait. Oh, no. Does that mean you can't wait and you left? Or you can't wait that you're excited? That would be the question. Arden is here. Don't forget to like the smash button. I guess I like the smash button, but I'm not in like with the smash button. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Hollywoke Hot Take, featuring me, Tony D, and my sidekick, Little Joan. Right, Little Joan? Here, stick your tongue out for the nice people. Oh, you did. Good job. Look over there. See? See? You're so cute. Oh, boy. What a day, Joan. What a day. Do I have to tell you about my day? I do. I do. So I went to, I had quite a weekend. So let's go over it. What the heck did I do on Wednesday? I wrote something down on Wednesday. Friday, I don't remember what I did on Wednesday. I might have wrote a note to myself. Arden, did you butt the smash Lighton? Hello. I did. Friday I went to Woodbridge. This place called John Parker Press Park or Parker Press Park. It was right next to the train station in Woodbridge. And we couldn't have had nicer weather. It couldn't be nicer people. But unfortunately, just was lightly attended. It was called Halfway to Halloween. I thought it was a good idea. But I don't know if word got out. So it was a little lightly attended. It's mostly for kids. They had me on the adult section. It was a guy who made, they were dragons with the heads of genitals, if you know what I'm saying. It was weird. I started to set up next to that guy, and I said, I don't want to be at that far down in the adult section, so I moved away. But people are it's so weird to see paranoid people about, like, language, right? All the crap that goes in schools, I've talked about in my videos a million times, like some of the most graphic sex acts I've ever seen in a school book for children gets put there in New Jersey schools. Like, this is a big thing in New Jersey. Ardent, that sounds degenerate. It was kind of. So the most graphic things in school books, but then when I say, you know, I get librarians and teachers coming up to me all the time. Oh, maybe this would be good for my class. I said, well, it does have some language and violence in it. And they're like, oh, no. And I'm like, you're teaching about pronouns and butt plugs. Like, that doesn't seem like, that doesn't seem appropriate. What's your reaction to that? Oh, that's all good. I guess. Oh, I can't do anything about that would probably be the reaction. I don't know. But, so Woodbridge was, I met some nice people. I think I'm going to do the Central Book Fest. There is no Central Jersey, but they call it the Central Jersey Book Fest. And then there's the school books. Yeah, exactly. Then on Saturday I was supposed to do the New Jersey Folk Festival, and I couldn't do it because they postponed it due to rain. Like, they thought they were going to get thunderstorms, and they eventually did. But the thing was 10 to 4, and the thunderstorms didn't really happen around me until about 4. So maybe they caught the tail end of it. I don't know, because they're up north. Ardent, it's not the language they accept. It's the violence. Can't have that. I mean, child mutilation is acceptable. I'm not sure what it is. I think it's more in their imaginations. I should probably just lie to them and say, buy the books, and then not tell them. I know one word would set them off in book 4. It set some guy off, and he had a thing to say about it. But I mean, you can't. I don't know. I don't want to get involved with the schools, quite frankly, anymore, because I used to be a substitute teacher, and it was already kind of weird enough being in on the inside of that. I mean, this was before things got really bad. The last time I subbed was like 2010 or something. But and there was the worst part about it, substituting, is the reason you substitute 9 times out of 10 is because the teacher is sick. And the reason the teacher's sick is because some kid in the classroom is sick, but the parents sent him to school anyway. Now this is all pre-pandemic, right? So you'd get these kids who'd be like snot running down their faces, coughing like just in the room, spewing it everywhere, and you're just like, cover your mouth, cover your mouth. Now they're super paranoid about it, so it's the complete opposite. But back then it was like, it was like taking your life into your own hands. So many people would get sick during flu season, including me, and I don't get sick a lot. Now that I stopped subbing, I don't get sick hardly at all. Since post-pandemic, I don't think I've been sick since, like, seriously sick, since, like, 2019. And I think it's partly because people are a little more aware, but I don't know. So then, so we didn't do the Saturday New Jersey Folk Festival. And I've been lining this up for weeks. Like, I got my lovely girlfriend. She was going to help me. It was so nice. And she was all psyched to do it. And she was going to come, and I was going to buy her breakfast and say all sorts of nice things. And I said nice things anyway, but it would have been very nice. But sadly, it's been postponed to when, I don't know. So I was kind of bummed out about the whole weekend financially until I did the Earth Fair today in Historic Park. LeMay is here. Hello. Arden, I skipped one. That's because kids are just germ factory plague characters. Yes, they are. And he says, hey, LeMay. So I went to Earth Fest or Earth Fair in Historic Smithville Park, and they were very nice. And we caught some really great weather, except it was windy. Now, this is all outside. I know a lot of my fellow authors won't do outside shows, and with good reason. It was windy as F, like super windy, like typhoon level winds. So I had my tent, and it was so windy for the first half, I had to hold on to the tent to keep it on the ground. Now, I have weights and everything, but it wasn't enough. The weights were not enough to keep the tent down. And eventually it got so bad, I was worried my tent would flip over and crush an old lady or something. So I took the roof of the tent off. I just said, F it. If it rains, it rains. Fortunately, there was no rain today. Lots of pollen. Indie Phantom. My birthday was Earth Day. I was born on the first one. Oh my God, we have to keep Indie Phantom alive or the Earth will die. Happy birthday, Indie Phantom. And what's that little symbol? I don't know that symbol. I can't see anything. What is that? Can't see that symbol. Is that a little green type symbol? What is that? LOL. Tents are always fun. Yeah, this is like the trade show tent that I bought. It was like the cheapest one. And normally it works fine, but it was super gusty. And to tie it down, I had my sign tied to it. And then at the base of my sign, I had my cart. It was a pretty heavy cart with the excess books on top of that. But still the tent was falling over. So I took the roof off. Indie Phantom symbol is wind blowing. Oh, okay. I thought maybe, but I can't tell from that. Man, it looks weird to me. I don't know. I'm going blind. So I said, screw it. And I took the tent top off, and that helped a lot. Except now I just had the sign, and literally it's so windy. The sign behind me, and it's about this wide. It just says the Pineys and has some books on it and various taglines. The wind is pushing the entire booth with no roof on it now forward, and I had to watch out that the sign fell apart like 3 times. Ugh. But despite all that, I sold a bunch of books, so it was a good day. There's pollen everywhere, so I'm a little hoarse, and this is a little dog. Ha! But a good day. A good day. Had a good time. Oh, now I get it, because I'm talking about the wind. But it was very gusty. Very gusty indeed. So, anyhow, enough about me and my deal. Wednesday, I'm going to be at the Galloway Library, so that should be fun. I'm hearing that a lot of people are showing up for that one. That's at 7 p.m. on Wednesday. So that'll be good. I'll be doing my Jersey Devil talk. But enough about Jersey Devil and me. Time to talk about the box office, Joan. Are you ready for box office? Of course you are. You're a dog. First up is Sinners. Tops the box office this weekend for the second weekend in a row. Only dropped by 6%. Whoa. Now it's in a handful of more theaters. But that is primo. That is primo. You can't ask for much better than that. Indie Phantom, get ready for weird box office. Sinners, man. 45 million. That is muy bueno. Now, it's not doing great internationally for some reason. I kind of wonder why. Let's see. Went to the UK, France, Australia, Mexico. Here's a problem. It's not going to China. And we all know why. The Chinese government and some Chinese people are extremely racist against black people. And the entire cast of Sinners is black. So, and unlike some of the other movies that they have managed to distribute in China, they're not going to be able to hide the cast. Like when they did it with Black Panther, they basically hid his face underneath the costume and on the movie poster. And then we all know what happened with Star Wars when they took the black character and they faded him into the background like, oh, don't worry about that guy. He's hardly in the movie. That was John Boyega. But they can't do that with Sinners. And I wouldn't expect, if Ryan Coogler had any say on it, that he would want that. I would expect that Michael B. Jordan wouldn't want that either. F the Chinese if they don't like, certain races. Screw them. They should want this movie. It's good, apparently. Indie Phantom, where the F did Revenge of the Sith come from? Well, they re-released it, and it's doing very well. JEC is here. Hi, hi, hi. Indie Phantom, Sinners is also horror, which doesn't even play in China. Well, there is a thing about China, as we've talked about, is they will not have ghosts. Any movie with a ghost, no bueno in China. They won't have it. And that, I'm not sure exactly. It's something to do with the culture there. I don't know about vampires, though. They have their own version of the vampire. I believe they're called Chang-Chi. I may be saying that wrong. Chang-Yi. They have different rules for Chinese vampires, though. They can go out in sunlight. And this is true, according to legend. You can surround a building or cross a doorway with rice, and the vampire can't cross it to get to you. So I know all this because I wrote a screenplay, a spec screenplay called Fist of the Vampire, where the vampire knows a bunch of kung fu. I wrote it for Jackie Chan. He wouldn't be the vampire. He'd be the good guy. But so far, no luck. But, yeah, Sinners looks super good. I mean, the trailer looks good. They don't give away anything about the vampires in the trailer, though. I didn't even know vampires were in it at first. Indie Phantom, no ghost and no U.S. horror. Hong Kong has some of their own, but different. JC, I did some Googling about the ghost thing. Their concept of ghost is very different from ours. American ghost movies wouldn't make sense to them over there. LeMay, Jiangxi, that's it. I'm thinking of Chang-Chi, the Marvel character. That's wrong. Jiangxi, yes. That's the Chinese vampire. Thank you, LeMay. Yeah, so interesting. So ghosts just don't even work over there. Indie Phantom, not a fan of Coogler. I like Black Panther, the first movie. That's pretty good. It seems decent. Beyond that, no. Not really. But I'm thinking I'm seeing this one. Only because it seems to have good buzz. People seem to like it. It takes place in, like, the 20s. I think it's a speakeasy. in the middle of the Louisiana swamp or something like that. And I think it'll be, as based as you're going to get, because there's no room for the stupid modern woke BS. So that should be good. People will be smoking cigarettes and drinking and doing stuff. I don't know. I didn't like the trailer. Now that I know it's a vampire movie, it's like, why don't you show some of the vampires? Like he hides them all. Not sure why. But it seems to be doing well. Now, number 2 is Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith, which they re-released for one of the anniversaries. I guess it's the 30th? When the heck did this come out? 2005. Oh, so the 20th. Indie Phantom. Maybe I will stream it eventually. I didn't see Revenge of the Sith. I was out. Phantom Menace. I walked out of the theater and went, done. Just like George Costanza in Seinfeld, because I hated it. I thought it was lame. I said, George has lost it. So I had no interest in seeing the rest of it. Some people like it, though. They like the fight. JC, I saw Revenge of the Sith on my 19th birthday. I remember it wasn't good then. Yeah, it's the kind of movie. I've seen bits and pieces of it. I was at a geek party one time, and they were playing a Chinese bootleg of it and laughing at the subtitles because it had been redubbed in Chinese and then subtitled in English, and it made no sense. But I've seen a million clips of it. I don't even think I could sit through it, quite frankly. Even if I could see it for free, I think I'd be zooming through half of it. Just because a lot of it, I think, is really boring. I think the stuff with Padme, it's got to be mind-numbing. I can't stand, as you all know, Natalie Portman. Mostly because she was in these movies. I have a really bad association with Natalie Portman and bad movies. And it's mostly, I blame her in large part for ruining Star Wars. Indie Phantom saw rots once in the cinema. Didn't really go back to the prequels. Don't think that would hold up. JC, it didn't really make sense in English to begin with. I have the high ground. You have laser swords. Like, does that matter? You have the ability to shoot people in the face with a phaser, and they die. Although they don't evaporate like they did in Star Trek. Star Trek had the phasers, man. They were the best. Indie Phantom. Boring is truth. Not a fan of Portman either. Yeah, I just can't stand her. It's her, Natalie Portman, not Natalie Portman, Nicole Kidman. I just see them and I go, no, this ain't gonna work. Ardent, Obi-Wan not force pushing Anakin into the lava was poor tactics. I mean, the whole thing just seemed better to not know, Indie Phantom, those were CG overkill too. Yeah, and not very good CG for that time. Kidman blows too, says Indie Phantom. Yeah, and it's like, yeah, it was better to not know, to hear about those events, and then imagine in your mind, because that's the main problem. When you say something like, oh, I made the Kessel Run in 4 parsecs, whatever the hell Han Solo said, you don't need to see that. It's just something that, people in the movie talk about and they argue over, and you can imagine in your own mind the importance of that and how crazy that was. when you actually see it, like in the terrible movie Solo, which for some reason my friend dragged me to, so I saw it. Ardent Nicole Kidman, bug-eating Aussie weirdo? Yes. But when you actually see it, it's boring. It doesn't live up to your expectations. The same thing with, in Star Trek, the Kobayashi Maru, which was Kirk's graduate exam for being a captain or something in the Starfleet Academy, and you weren't supposed to win, but he somehow cheated and won. Like, it was enough just to hear that to know, oh, Kirk's so cool, he managed to cheat and win. And then they actually do it, and you're like, I didn't need to see this. I rather would romanticize it in my own head. It's like Hollywood is so bad at creating new stuff, they have to invade my head and steal fan ideas just to make sure, because they have nothing left. Nobody wants to pay a writer, and when they do, they want to take all the credit from them anyway. And I've experienced that firsthand. I mean, the people in this business don't want to write anything. They can't write anything, but they want to take that credit. Oh, they want that credit badly. Indie Phantom. The expanded Star Wars universe was not a world we needed to see. Never watched the Clone Wars BS. Yeah, I mean, people have said it's good, but I'm not interested in seeing Obi-Wan. I liked it better because everything I've seen of Obi-Wan doesn't jibe with OG Star Wars. Because when you hear about Obi-Wan and OG Star Wars, they refer to him as General Kenobi. You're like, oh, he was some sort of military guy. And then you start imagining stuff. Even as you're watching the movie, you start imagining, oh, he was a general. Like, he commanded troops and had a uniform and stuff like that. And then they have to go back and show you that, and they don't know what they're doing. They kind of don't know what they're doing. Like, it has to be epic. Everything in the prequels should have been just as epic as the later stuff, quote unquote, in the timeline. Oh my God. And then the sequels were abominable, and they had to be even better than that. So, these people don't know what they're doing. Clearly, over and over again, they've demonstrated, you don't know what you're doing. So, George took his money and ran, and who am I to judge? But I will. I don't think he should have done that. He already had lots of money. How much money do you need? What, are you going to die in a giant building made of money? Anyhow, let's move on to The Accountant 2. Now, this was a pretty good first movie, I hear, but I didn't see this one either. I kind of still want to see it, but I've heard mixed things. 24 million, just shy of a movie that's 20 years old. Ardent, read Clone Wars. The 2003 ones were good. Everything else connected to Clone Wars, Rebels, etc. is trash that was used to build the pyre that they are sacrificing good storytelling on. The actual expanded universe stuff between the first two movies series especially was great. You know what was pretty good too? Marvel Comics did an adaptation of Star Wars. Now, this is when the movie first came out in 77. So this might have been like 78, 79. They licensed Star Wars and just started making comics. And apparently they didn't ask anybody at Lucasfilms or anywhere else. They just started making up stories. And I believe I bought the first one, but I may have not. I remember reading it, so maybe somebody else had it and loaned it to me. But the bottom line was they were pretty good because they were all action adventure. It was all like Han Solo getting into trouble and having to do something crazy to get out, or Luke doing something. Like, it kind of just took Star Wars in the direction you'd expect it to go back in the day. But Lucasfilms apparently didn't like that because they had their own plans and they wanted to make sure it was all, canon. So they disregarded that as not canon. It was more comic booky too, but It was pretty good. I mean, the comic books at that era were pretty damn good. I don't think they can reprint them either. JEC, just shy of a 20-year-old bad movie that was bad. Yeah, it's not good. Ardent, I had one of those old Marvel comics when I was young. I remember seeing them in the barber shop and stuff. Because that would be something like the normies would buy. They wouldn't buy comics normally, but if they saw Star Wars, they'd be like, oh, Star Wars. Yeah, everybody likes Star Wars. I'll buy that. So there was a lot of them. Yeah, it's just like bad movies from 20 years ago still do better than movies today. JC, Al Williamson did a good adaptation of The Empire Strikes Back. Yeah, it's interesting, too, to note. I'm not sure when they instituted it, but I guess it would have been for Star Wars, too, because they did this with Alien. By that time, celebrities were putting it in their contract that their likenesses couldn't be used without paying them. So all the illustrators were told to make the characters look kind of like the characters from the movie, but not too much like them. So they had to be like close, but different. And that must have been really tough, I gotta imagine, for a lot of artists, right? I mean, it's probably tough enough to get close to somebody's actual face, but then to purposely make sure that it's not their face at all, that must be really tough. JC, I think Howard Chaykin did those Star Wars comics. Oh, well, no wonder they were awesome. Really? Chaykin did those? I'm going to go back and buy all of them if that's true. Holy cow. Oh, man. He's based. He's based as F, Howard Chaykin. Oh, yeah. You should read Howard Chaykin. Everything Howard Chaykin does is great. I like American Flag especially. Good stuff on American Flag. Oh, so good. That was from the first 80s comics. But The Accountant, yeah, $24 million. What did this movie cost is the big question. It has John Bernthal in it, playing basically the same character he always plays, Shane from The Walking Dead. He's basically Shane from The Walking Dead as the Punisher. You know, because at first he's like the guy in charge, and then later when things get tough, he's like, oh man. Just like Shane did in The Walking Dead. So $24 million and $80 million budget. Oh, this movie's done. This movie's cooked. Next week you'll be lucky if it does 12 million or more, slightly more. That's 36 million. This movie's cooked. JC, Chaykin is a total pinko socialist, LOL, but Chaykin's 80 stuff is good. Really? Yeah. I mean, American Flag didn't seem pinko socialist at all. Seemed the exact opposite of that. Maybe he went through a phase. I don't know. American Flag is like super based. I don't know. Is that true? But yeah, everybody, I don't know. The Accountant looks terrible. You know what it is? It's probably not that terrible. It's probably pretty watchable. But it's on Amazon. If you got Prime, why would you go to the movie? Right? You could just wait out Prime, and eventually it's going to be on there for free. If you're a Prime account member, right? You just got to wait them out. JC, I like Chaykin Image Comics Satellite Sam with Matt Fraction. No, I didn't see that one. I've been out of comics for a while. But yeah, The Accountant, I just waited out on MGM or Amazon. In fact, I haven't seen the first one, so maybe I gotta go catch it on Prime. It should be free by now. So yeah, that might be the reason. Like, it's good enough to see, but it's not good enough to go to the movie theater because it's so damn expensive in the damn movie theater. And then you got to sit through a half-hour commercials, and the kids from the Minecraft movie threw popcorn everywhere. That happens anyway. I don't know why everybody's complaining about it. Speaking of which, number 4 is a Minecraft movie. A Minecraft movie, yeah, because the next one is definitely going to be a next one. Is this thing going to crack 1 billion? I don't think so. It's at 816. I don't know, man. They could keep it in the theaters another 10 months. I don't think it'll make it. JC, American Flag was a satire of Reagan-era right-wing action movie stuff. It seemed based because it was cooler to be left-wing and subversive back then. I don't know. As my college professor said, all great art is unconscious. So if he's a socialist pinko, he certainly created something cool with American Flag. I mean, I can't recommend that comic enough. It had some cool stuff in it. It had political stuff in it that, like, now would be relevant. Because what happens is the United States ends up selling off most of its land. And the entire United States gets balkanized. So the only states left are like, and this should have been a tip off. He was a socialist, I guess. I think the only states left were like Illinois, parts of Michigan, and like Pennsylvania, and maybe a few other areas. And it was all one giant mall. And it was all inside. You could travel on a train inside for miles and miles and miles, and you wouldn't leave you wouldn't leave the mall. So, but like outside the mall, you had these factions fighting. Like, there was different factions, like basically like the war in Gaza right now. It was crazy. JC, yes, American Flag is cool. Everyone lives in a giant mall, basically. Yeah. And Bob Violence was one of my favorites. Oh my God. Everybody watches a TV show called Bob Violence, where Bob just he's just super violent. But this Minecraft movie, it's a phenomenon. I kind of want to say it. I just out of curiosity, even though I'm pretty sure I won't get most of it, but it kind of makes me want to play the video game too, but I know I probably won't enjoy that. I don't have that kind of time. It's one of those games you could play for hours. You just build crap, and I guess you fight the zombies. But yeah, a Minecraft movie. They're freaking out over the popcorn being thrown everywhere. To which I say, have you ever been to a Rocky Horror Picture Show screening? It's a mess. They throw popcorn. They throw toast. They throw all kinds of things. Indie Phantom, a Minecraft movie, I won't see. All right. JC, Bob Violence was the TV show American Flag starred in until they replaced him with an AI version of him, and he had to become a cop to make ends meet. Oh, yeah, there was AI in it too. God. I mean, that's pretty good. That was back in the 80s, man. You got to give it to Chaikin. LeMay, Minecraft is just virtual Legos. Yeah, it seems that way. But they do have the zombies in it. Indie Phantom, I would like to go in and toss a dead chicken around. I don't think they would notice, but they might scream chicken jockey for several minutes. Apparently it's becoming a like the Rocky Horror Picture Show, like an audience participation thing, at least with the chicken jockey portion. So I always thought, after seeing Rocky Horror Picture Show, why didn't they make more movies that were audience participation like that? Because it was fun the first couple of times you go to see Rocky Horror. It's a lot of fun. I'm not like super into it, but I would go once in a while with my friends, and we'd scream filthy things, the filthiest things we could think of, as part of the deal. I think it would be fun. I think Minecraft might be turning into that, kind of. I guess maybe a clean version of that. JC, Chaikin just did American flag to pay off credit card debt, he said, and it was the best thing he did. Well, I liked it. He also did an Elseworlds book with Batman as Howard Hughes, and that was really good too, and that was super based. He was like Howard Hughes, self-made millionaire, completely different Batman. Indie Phantom, did Minecraft have a super hold? I missed that. Well, like the fan boys keep saying it, but the fan base is pretty young, so like a lot of it's hitting the weekends. And there's a scene with the chicken jockey, and they go nuts for that scene. And I've seen a couple of clips of, just the fans going nuts and throwing popcorn, and there are guys dressed as a chicken jockey, and they're running around the theater. JC, you can't force the audience interaction. It needs to happen naturally. Well, it seems to be happening in Minecraft, is what I'm saying. Indie Phantom, The Room is another I have seen with a heavy audience participation. Ooh. I can imagine, because it's so bad. Like in Rocky Horror, you could buy this poster, and the poster had all the big gags, so you could read the poster and know when the line was coming up. JC, did Chaikin did a Shadow miniseries that was good. I saw that, but I didn't buy it. But the art looked amazing. I like his art too. He's got a good eye with the women, especially for that era. Because I remember the Shadow had like some super hot chick with the, I think with the old style pantyhose with the seam going down the back of the leg kind of thing. If I'm remembering, if that's the one. There was another one too he did called Black Kiss, or was that the Shadow story? I remember seeing that in the comic store for years. Number 5, premiering at 5, is Until Dawn. This is another video game based movie, which was probably kind of ill-conceived. Although, let's see, it did 18 million and it cost 15 million. Well, maybe not. It doesn't look great though. JC, in a screening of The Room, people throw spoons at the screen when the stock photo of the spoon in the frame appears on the screen. Oh, well, that's like in Rocky Horror when Frankenfurter says, "A toast!" and you throw toast at the screen. That's a lot messier, I guess. But then again, the spoon, getting whacked in the head with a spoon wouldn't be no picnic. And of course, some idiot, I didn't have spoons, so I brought forks. LeMay, another video gamer movie. Or game movie, yes. Ardent, Margot Lane, assuming that was the name of the comic chick and the character was carried over to the movie. Not sure. JC, Black Kiss was like a prawn comic, a noir with vampires. Chaikin said that was at the worst of his alcoholism. Oh, I never read it, but I remember liking the cover for some reason. I mean, it sounded cool. Black Kiss, that sounds cool. Huh, vampires. Yeah, so this is another video game movie. It's a weird video game, too, because it's like these people get trapped in some sort of house, and then each day they get brutally killed by a different, like, character from a slasher movie, basically. So they're all, like, parodies of slasher movies, like Freddy and Jason Voorhees and all the ones, Michael Myers. And so for a video game, I guess it would kind of work, but for a movie, I don't think it would work unless you turned around and then licensed those characters. Maybe you could. Then you could probably make it work. Then it would kind of make sense, I guess, in some small way, but I don't know. It just seems dumb. Just seems like an excuse to grind through a bunch of crazy murders and wake up. So it's like Groundhog Day elements to it. They just keep dying and waking up, and then they have to figure out, I guess before the 13th day or something, how to beat the evil clown or whatever the hell is coming up next. I don't know. Too much. JC, I think censorship in comics was becoming a thing. So Chaykin did Off the Wall Prawn comic. It was actually the comic he made the most money because it was self-published and he kept all the money. Indie Phantom, I am excited about getting a new Outrun movie, possibly starring Sydney Sweeney. Sydney Sweeney's chesticles. That was rumored recently. Well, there was she's supposed to star in a remake of Barbarella. Was a big rumor for a while. The deal wasn't signed, but it sounded like it was a done deal. So that would be cool if they stuck to the original script where she gets I think Jane Fonda got at least topless for that, possibly completely naked, although I don't think you saw Bush. It's been a long time since I saw that. Arnott had a look at Black Kiss. Reminds me a little of Breathtaker, Hempel and Wheatley. Indie Phantom, Michael Bay is directing. Well, expect a lot of lens flare. Boobarella will be nice. I know. Finally. Finally, just one movie full of boobs. Arnott. Oh, we have a political contender to Sydney Sweeney's most appreciated chess position, Natalie Winters. Natalie Winters. All right, let's take a look at Natalie Winters. All right. I don't know, man. Oh, wait. Which is a different Natalie Winters? Are you talking about the, what's the name? The news girl. Yes, she's pretty cute. The news girl is pretty cute, I gotta say. I don't think she's going to be in movies anytime soon, but they're giving her flack for her outfits. Yes. Yes, the blonde in front of the White House. Apparently there's an actress named Natalie Winters. Yeah, she's cute. That's probably the best shot of her. Indie Phantom, yes, sexy White House correspondent. Yeah, she's getting blasted for her outfits. They're saying they're too sexy, and she has to dress more appropriately. I think this was the outfit that got her flagged, I believe. I don't think it's completely inappropriate. I mean, if it's a hot day, that's the equivalent of a man wearing shorts. I guess you can't wear shorts to the White House, but I don't know. It doesn't seem that out of whack, does it? I mean, she looks like she should be playing tennis, but Ardent, yeah, calling her slutty for having a big chest, even if she dressed like a nun. Indie Phantom, I would totally blast her outfits. I mean, if you're going to be a White House correspondent, you should probably dress more seriously. Ardent, LOL, I'd wear shorts to the White House. Okay, John Fetterman. I'd wear shorts to the White House, too, in my defense, and my Piney Power shirt. You know, so Trump could point me out in the crowd. You, what's that Piney Power shirt? And then I could explain the Pineys to him and make $1 million. JC, your head's in the way. Oh, wait. Let's see if I can do this. All right, there's the outfit. Oh. See, there's the outfit. Ardent, how'd you know about the hoodie? JC, Tim Pool wore his beanie to the White House. Yes. Indie Phantom. She is perfect for 80s White House sex comedy. In the House. Rated R. For adult situations. Ardent. She's got some long legs. All right, let's stop ogling the White House girl. Yes, she does. She's 24. She's 24. All right, next up, number 6, dropping from 3, is The King of Kings from Angel Studios. This movie did pretty well for them in its 3rd week. And I believe this made its money. Nope, we don't have a budget for this. I would guess it made its money. Although it's animated, so it's kind of tough to tell, but it'll probably go on the TV and make money there. Ardent, bring back the boobies. We'll get to more boobies later. We have to spread the boobies out so people stay tuned in for the whole show. But The King of Kings, I think they're running out of Jesus stories. JC, there is one lady who was in the real life streamer who is a legit notorious dumb who they let into the White House press corps. Real life streamer. I don't know. Maybe Trump thought she was hot and said, all right, let her in. I think The King of Kings probably made money. I don't know. How good could the animation be? It's a religious thing. But, again, I think they're going to run out of religious stories pretty quickly. At least the ones that people know, that'll bring in people. They're going to have to get more and more obscure. Ardent. Corinne Jean-Pierre? Ardent. LOL. Just kidding. JC. Yeah, Corinne. Yeah, is she a streamer now? That would be funny. She should just quit. She should just take her money and run. That would be my advice. You're dropping me as a client? No, I'm just not going to accept you as a client anymore. There's no reason for you to be on TV, Corinne. Next up is The Amateur, dropping from 4 to 7 in its 3rd week. This seemed like a solid enough premise, but it doesn't seem to be doing well. This is Remy Malek as sort of a geeky guy who works for the CIA. JC, no, she used to be a streamer. Oh, that's where the Biden admin found her. No, I seem to be stuck on the numbers front page. Okay, so I can't check the budget on this, but The Amateur, it's only made $33 million domestically, so I'm gonna suggest it probably didn't make its money back. Seemed like a big movie, seemed like they were expecting big things from it, but it looked fine. It looked like a decent enough plot, for a revenge movie. JC, her name sounds like Kareen. Again, there it is. So it made $80 million worldwide on a budget of $60 million. Okay. So this is kind of moving into the area of profitability slightly. Probably not, based on... Oh man, the site is wicked slow. Probably not super profitable though. Great. There we go. Next up is the Warfare movie. And it also in its 3rd week, like everything came out last week for some reason. Let's see if this loads up. There it goes. So we're at $24 million for movie cost, $20 million. Again, kind of in the same position. But this has got good word of mouth. I've heard a few critics that I trust say this is a pretty good movie, including the Critical Drinker, I believe. Indie Phantom. Rami or whoever is not a big draw. Oh, Remy Malik. Yeah, well, he's a TV guy. Well, he did Queen. Queen did well, so I can understand why the studio would put money in a Remy Malik thing. He also has a distinctive look. Like he doesn't blend in with all the handsome faces. Like, for instance, I don't know, Ben Affleck. He's just sort of handsome, and you could kind of confuse him with a couple of actors. Whereas Remy Malik, you're going to know him. Oh, that's a guy from Queen, because he's got those weird eyes. But, it's not a bad movie. Premise, anyway. Warfare looks okay. I kind of want to see it now that the drinker says it's pretty good. It's not. It doesn't feel like my kind of movie, though. In its second week, coming in at 9, is The Legend of Ochi. This has William Dafoe in it. And it's up a bunch because now they've put it in theaters in its second week in order to bump up the numbers. They put it in about 1,100 theaters. It made $1.4 million this week. Last week it made nothing because it was only in a handful of theaters. So, I don't know. It didn't look good. It's like a kid's movie with William Dafoe, which is weird. I don't think William Dafoe has the look of a guy who should be in a kid's movie unless he's like, I don't know, the troll that tries to get the little boy or something. Although he's kind of a bad guy in it, so. Number 10 is Pink Floyd Live at Pompeii. This looks like, what is this? Trafalgar something is a distributor. Doesn't seem to be loading. Are they like Fathom Events? I would guess they would be. Oh, this is from like this is an old concert. This is from 72. Wow. Okay. 1.3 million though. It's only in 650 theaters, but yeah, I could see people go. I would go see this. I wouldn't mind seeing Pink Floyd live at Pompeii from 72. That's probably a good show. They should do more of this, quite frankly. You go see a classic concert from some band like Pink Floyd or the Stones or whatever. You just put it up there on the big screen. I'd see that. Number 11 is Drop. Drops from 6 to 11 in its third week. Not cracking 1 million, 950K. Already going out of theaters. That's quick. JC. 72 was Dark Side of the Moon era? Yeah, right? Because The Wall was later. Yeah, The Wall had to be later. That was too early for The Wall, I think. I don't know, I was 6. So, kind of hard for me to parse it unless I look it up. I think so. By the time I started going to school, all that music was big. When did The Wall hit? The movie hit sometime in the early 80s, right? So, yeah. The Wall would have been late 70s at the earliest. So, yeah, it would have had to have been Dark Side. Wall was like 79, says JC. Yeah. Yeah, so it had to be. Dark Side of the Moon. What did they have before that? Drop looked like a good movie. I think it's going to do well on streaming because solid premise. There's just nobody in it. It looks okay. The premise is some guy is invading a woman's phone. She's out on a Tinder date, and he's trying to convince her to kill her date while he is at her house, and he's going to hold her son hostage, basically. But then she somehow escapes the restaurant to go save her son, and it turns into like an action thing, but it's kind of less believable to me because it's a female protagonist. I think if you had a male doing it, I think it would work. I think that you have a female, it can work, but it doesn't work as well. But I would still see it on streaming. I don't think I'd go to the theater for that. Indie Phantom, Drop looks decent and Locked is streaming now. Might watch it. Yeah, I mean, for a B movie, Locked looks fine. I wouldn't pay for Locked. I would want it like free on streaming or for $1 or something. To me, a movie like that is not worth more than $3. If I gotta pay more than $3, I'll wait until it's free. And it'll be free eventually. JC, not a bad concept. Terrible mother going on Tinder dates. Well, I don't think it's supposed to be Tinder, but there's a lot of those apps. I used to be on all of them, but now I'm off of all of them. And I couldn't be happier to be off those things. It really was terrible. I mean, I used to complain about it all the time, but now I'm like off all. I couldn't be happier being off of that crap. Oh, it's bad. There was a window of time when internet dating was kind of cool, but that was like the 90s. Early 90s, internet dating was kind of cool because the only people on it were people. Early 90s, there were only so many people on the internet. So you had to be computer savvy. Like, it wasn't every idiot. Now it's everybody's on the internet. And it's not the same. JC, not a bad concept. Oh, I read that one. Indie Phantom, Havoc is a new Netflix movie from the director of the Raid movies that looks like great action. Tom Hardy stars. Yeah, I want to see that too. The buzz is the action scene's amazing. But the movie itself's meh. I forget who said that though. But I still kind of want to say it. I would pretty much see Tom Hardy is such a good actor. I would pretty much see anything he's in blindly until I, hear some negative. Like, I finally heard negative reviews of, like, the motorcycle movie. And, he's in a lot of stuff now, so some of it's not going to be that good. But he's such a good actor. I feel like he elevates a movie just by being in it. So there's certain actors like that for me, like Tom Hardy, Gary Oldman's like that. I see Gary Oldman, I'm like, ooh, I should watch that. Few others, but I think Havoc will be good. You know what else is pretty good, according to my girlfriend, and according to, well, I didn't see it yet, but I saw the trailer, and the trailer looks hot, is Mobland. Oh, I forget what it's streaming on. I want to say Prime. I think Prime. So Mobland stars Pierce Bronson as the mob boss, Helen Mirren as his wife, and Tom Hardy as his enforcer. And it looks badass. I got to make some time to watch that at some point. Where was I? Next up, dropping from 8 to 12 is Pride and Prejudice from Focus Features. This is an old movie. From what year? Oh, you're killing me, internet. You're killing me today. Now, see the health here. I've used my stream health setting. Oh, stream is healthy. Well, what am I complaining about then? Then it must be the fault of the website. Yeah, it's not loading. All right, I gotta stop going to individual movies. So I forget what year that would be from. Indie Phantom. The bike riders was boring as a dog's arse, to quote Mel Gibson. Indie Phantom. My dad recommended Mobland to me recently. Here's another recommendation. Number 13. On Swift Horses. Hold on, I'm blowing up on the text here. Oh my god. Yeah, I can't read that. A friend of mine just sent me something. On Swift Horses. I have no idea what this movie is. I'm gonna have to look it up on the IMDb because the site's not cooperating at all. So let me try that. Oh, come on. IMDb. There it is. Okay, it just must be the numbers. On Swift Horses. There it is. What the hell is this? Ardent, how on earth is Brave New World still playing? Oh, wait. I'll go back to that in a minute. On Swift Horses. Muriel and her husband, Lee, are about to begin a bright new life, which is upended by the arrival of Lee's brother. Muriel embarks on a secret life of gambling on racehorses and discovering a love she never thought possible. Okay, so that's a drama that does not interest me. Director Daniel Minahan, writers Bryce Cass, Shannon Pufall, stars Daisy Edgar Jones, Jacob L. Lordley, and Will Poulter. Pass. Where is what you were talking about? Brave New World. Oh, you're talking about Captain America. Yeah, it's only in 50 theaters. It's on its way out. Disney Snow White. How is that in theaters? It's in its 6th week, but it's dropping like a rock. Down to 610 theaters, less than 500,000. It was number 10 last week. Now it's like 11, 12, 13, 14. Number 15, The Shrouds, in its 2nd week. Again, another art house thing they're trying to beef up. Then The Wedding Banquet from Bleecker Street, in its 2nd week, dropping 70%. Ouch. Forget which... What is this one? Oh, this is that Boeing Yang movie. Yeah, it's a gay wedding thing. How many more of these? They're making a lot of gay wedding ones. There's this one. There's the one with the Indian guy. There's at least another. It's like, how many gay weddings do you think? Like, that was daring back in the 80s. Like, if you did a movie about a gay wedding in the 80s, people went bananas. Now you do it, it's like, oh, another one? It's like, Jesus. I don't know what number we're at. The Woman in the Yard. Look, meh. It's in its 5th week. The Ballad of Wallace Island. That looks super boring. Super boring sort of indie drama. Probably okay for a hipster date, but that's about it. The Friend. Which one is that? Oops. Hold on. The Friend. Bill Murray, Naomi... Oh, this is the Bill Murray Dies movie. Yeah, that's really super depressing. Naomi Watts gets his dog in its 5th week. Made about 3.7 million. That wouldn't even cover Bill Murray's appearance, I would think. Oh, here's the other gay movie, A Nice Indian Boy. That's the gay Indian movie. So there's 2 gay movies in theaters right now. So if you need to see a gay movie, you got choices. Indie Phantom. Can't wait for my next hipster date. Well, that's the perfect movie. Because it'll be just pretentious enough that you'll have to think it's cool, and just interesting enough you'll be able to tolerate it. But not so pretentious that you'll hate it. Captain America Brave New World, somehow still in theaters, but it's only in 50 theaters. 50 theaters where they hate people and want to spread nothing but hate in their theater. I don't know where those theaters are, but you should really think about the kind of movies you play. Black Bag, that was the spy movie from Steven Soderbergh. That looked kind of boring. Magic Farm, I think I saw the trailer for this, but I didn't review it because it kind of didn't make sense. There it is, Magic Farm. A media crew mistakenly ends up in the wrong country while trying to profile a musician. As they collaborate with the locals to create a virtual trend, relationships form amid an unfolding health crisis. Yeah, it looked like it was trying to be funny, but it wasn't really funny. Blue Sun Palace. What is that? I don't know that one at all. I mean, I saw the Magic Farm trailer. I didn't see Blue Sun Palace. When tragedy strikes, an unexpected bond forms between two migrants in the Chinese community of Queens. Far from home, their labor-filled lives intertwine as they grieve and search for familiar connections. Okay, that sounds incredibly depressing, but at least it's under 2 hours. So I'll give it that. Constance Sang is the director and writer. Good for you doing all the heavy lifting. And April, in 2 theaters. Another one, I have no idea. April. There it is. Nina, an OBGYN, faces accusations after newborn's death. A newborn's death. Her life undergoes scrutiny during an investigation. She persists in her medical duties, determined to provide care others hesitate to offer despite risk. Right. What care is that, I wonder? Storebang is here. I haven't gone through the movies in a long time. I will again when the Pineys hits the big screen. Thank you, Storebang. And the last is Sod and Stubble. I forget this one. I want to say it was a comedy. The adventures and adversities of the family pioneering on the plains of Kansas. Maybe it's a comedy? It looks kind of, an enduring love story. No. Sacrifice and Hope. No. That doesn't look funny at all. Looks sad and depressing. All right, so that was all the movies this week. 142 million. Now, last week we didn't get to do the chart because I had to do the live stream on Saturday. But there were a couple other things on here that didn't survive into the next week, including Colorful Stage, the movie, a Miku who can't sing. I don't know what the hell that is. Sneaks already disappeared. The Chosen, all the Chosen Last Supper movies disappeared. The Ugly Stepsister is gone. I saw the trailer for that. I talked about that in a video. What else? Moo Moo, I don't know what that is. Evicted, I don't know what that is. Is that a comedy? Maurice finds himself in financial bind after being barred from collecting rent during the pandemic. He and his friends take matters into their own hands. They create Evicted, a dark web app offering eviction services to landlords. That sounds pretty cool. That sounds like an awesome movie. I think I want to see this. That sounds pretty cool. And Turno Nocturno. What the heck is that? Turno Nocturno. Damn it. I gotta remember the evicted. Turno Nocturno. A young nurse with a past of family violence starts working the night shift at a small hospital where during the night a ghost nurse materializes. Well, that sounds pretty cool, too. Turno Nocturno, a ghost nurse. All right. So that's it. And last week, the box office was 135 million, so you had a slight improvement. A slight improvement on the weekend chart this weekend. Libe. A Miku Who Can't Sing is a Japanese Vocaloid movie. What's a Vocaloid movie? Does that mean it's like a musical? Vocaloid. It's a cool word. All right, let's see what's going on in the trades. Here's Fandom Pulse. All right, let's go over here where all the news stories are on one big page. J.K. Rowling savages Neil Gaiman in tweet highlighting his suing his alleged victim. LeMay, virtual singer. Oh, interesting. All right, let's see what J.K. Rowling's now going after Neil Gaiman. She's done with the trans people. She's now going after Neil Gaiman. So, here's her tweet. The literary crowd that had a hell of a lot to say about Harvey Weinstein before he was convicted has been strangely muted in its response to multiple accusations against Neil Gaiman from young women who'd never met yet, as with Weinstein, tell remarkable similar stories. During a long career, I've somehow never got around to sleeping with vulnerable young fans, using them for unpaid labor, or having sex with an employee. I know that sounds unbelievable, but it's surely not as astounding as Neil Gaiman's most recent move. Oof. Well, I was very surprised at first of the accusations, and with all the Me Too stuff, I was a little skeptical, but I'm becoming more and more convinced something's there. But again, he hasn't been convicted of anything, so I don't know there, JK. You might want to watch your words in case he decides to turn to his lawyers after you. But of course, JK has a lot more money than him, so she's probably not worried. Troll Lord Games bucks industry trend and says tariffs won't impact them. We make our products here in the United States. That is true. I can vouch for that. The Troll Lord Games guys are very cool. They were some of the coolest guys I hung out with on the road when I was doing my game. And they told me stories of Gary Gygax because they worked with him in his final days. So, good for them. Good going, guys. I hope you're doing well. Sentenced to War by J.N. Chanley and Jonathan Brazzi, military sci-fi review. Oh, those covers look pretty cool. I like the look of the art. All right. So there's that. Oh, here's the Yellow Flash. Talks about his new graphic novel, The Golden Patriot. I don't know if any of you bought that. I like the Yellow Flash. I didn't buy it because I don't have any money, but I thought it was fine enough comic. The art looks okay. I'm kind of rooting for Yellow Flash, especially I think the Ethan Van Sciver thing, I think that hurt him, and I don't think that was very fair to him or his artist. But, I don't want to rehash that. Stranger Things actor Noah Schnapp defends his disordered lifestyle. I'm finally living truthfully. Yeah, he's gay. I don't know why this comes as a big thing anymore. Like, okay, you're gay. Be gay. No one cares. Dave Filoni says he's faced a lot of challenges to enact his vision for Ahsoka Season 2. Ooh, is it a vision of a show that doesn't suck this time? Oh, right. I forgot. Yeah, I have no interest in this. Zero. Zip. Star Wars is dead to me. But you do you, Dave. Breaking, Larry Correia announces end of Monster Hunt International and states he isn't writing series for Baen Books until 2026. Okay. Not sure why. I mean, could be a corporate thing. I don't know. Tom Cruise Mission Impossible The Final Reckoning predicted to perform 15% worse than The Dead Reckoning in its opening weekend. To which I say, it's time. It's time to close the books on this movie. You know, I hated the first Mission Impossible. I just absolutely hated it. I didn't dip in again until number 4, and that was okay. But by that time, it was a completely different movie. And then this seems like a completely different movie after that. I don't know. I like Tom Cruise kinda in these roles, but it's just like they might as well call it Tom Cruise the movie. Indie Phantom, I beg you all, no more Star Wars. You hear me, Ryan Gosling? He does not hear you, because that's going to be a thing. And it'll probably make money. I don't want to see it. I do not want to see that at all. Ardent, Monster Hunter International is a good series about the same level as Dresden Files. Not as good as the Pineys, of course. Thank you. Well, that's cool. I wonder why he stopped writing it or why he would need to announce that. Seems like an odd announcement. But probably something from a podcast that got taken out of context. Here's Yellow Flash, his Golden Patriot novel. Kathleen Kennedy gives update on Taika Waititi's Star Wars movie, who I don't think anyone cares about at this point. Like, no one. Indie Phantom, Mission Impossible is a weird franchise. Never really felt like the old series for even a minute, in my opinion. I agree. That's kind of why I hated the first movie. Peter Graves was still alive, I think, and I wish they had him in the movie, and then I think John Voight played his character, and they kind of made him a bad guy, and it didn't sit well with him. I felt that was wrong, too. Ardent, sorry for the typos. I'm actually flagging out pretty bad. Weather changed and sedated me. Oh no. Is it raining NyQuil where you are, Ardent? Indie Phantom, the revival in the 80s was better. Did I see that? I don't remember that. But yeah, nobody cares about Taika Waititi's Star Wars anymore. Fantastic Four and The Last of Us actor Pedro Pascal bashes J.K. Rowling for defending the truth this week. He went after her. Indie Phantom, yeah, Graves turned it down wisely. Yeah, like, he didn't want his character to go out a bad guy. I could see that. Why not give him a send-off? But yeah, Pedro Pascal is at it again. So goodbye, Fantastic Four. We hardly knew ye. It's going to make Captain America 4 look like Thor number 2. Arnett, LOL, it is raining pretty hard, or was. I don't know, stormy weather always knocks me out. You might have allergies. Indie Phantom, short-lived Mission Impossible revival starred Graves. Ardent Party, Klaatu Barate Nicotine, or maybe a smoke will wake me up a little. Indie Phantom, go away, Pedro. Ardent, the walk in the wind and rain certainly might. Well, watch yourself out there. Yeah, it's like Pedro Pascal suddenly picking up the torch for the trans people. He's not trans. I don't think he gives a crap about it. Trans people. Why would he? Why does he suddenly come out and do this? Like, he did this a few months ago, and then a few months before that. Like, come on. It's like, why is it? I think it's just his publicist said, here, pick a cause and say stupid things about it. So, and to go up against J.K. Rowling, who obviously won't be going anywhere, is insane to me. And right before, he said this after the UK ruling. Like, the UK ruling, that's it, man. Even the UK government's, finally said, oh, yeah, we can't do this. We can't make everybody, sign on to this. Indie Phantom, Pedro did wear kinky boots. Ugh. Yeah, I don't know. He's an odd guy, I think. He also did a gay cowboy thing with I forget who. I want to say Ethan Hawke, but was that him? I don't know. The Ghost of Yote, director's response to accusations that the game is woke. They added a female character. I don't know the game, so I don't really know if it's woke or not. But any hint of woke, I'm telling you, it's going to kill projects. We're at that point. This could be very damaging towards the game. Because people aren't messing around anymore. They hear something's woke. Oh, that's woke? Screw it. No, I'm out. I definitely am out on a lot of things. If I hear something's woke, I'm going to assume, that can't be good. That can't be good. They're going to start doing it the opposite way at some point. They kind of have. They try to hide the woke stuff now. Captain America, I mean, I don't think it was so much woke as it was just kind of terrible. Just seems like it's a big jumbled mess. The Thunderbolts, I don't think will be much better. Although I think it will be slightly better than Captain America. I'll tell you why. As much as I can't stand her politics, Julia Louis-Dreyfus does do a good annoyed person. So it might kind of work at one level. Like, it'll be funny. She won't be evil, but she'll be funny. And that's enough that might carry some of the movie, and it might do okay. Like, people might see it and go, this wasn't so bad. But I don't think they're going to rave about it. I think that's the best you can hope for with Thunderbolts. But Indie Phantom, yeah, short gay western with Ethan Hawke. Oof. What the F, man? All right, what's next? Oh, damn it, I keep doing that. Variety. Talking about Sinners for its massive second weekend. It's a good sign. The studio is pleased. The Accountant 2 director Gavin O'Connor says Anna Kendrick is 100% in for a potential third film. She and I have been texting. I didn't even see her in the trailer for the first or second film. Is she in that franchise? I guess she is. Let's see. Jiggly Calente, RuPaul's Drag Race star and judge of Drag Race Philippines, dies at 44. Submitted without comment, I guess. I don't know. Seems to be a lot of drag queen deaths. Seems to be they die young. I'm not sure why. Is drag dangerous somehow? Is drag causing cancer? Wouldn't that be a study? Well, it turns out drag people get cancer at elevated rates. Maybe it's the makeup. And the weird shoes. Jiggly Caliente. Here's a Variety headline. By bowing to Trump, White House Correspondents' Dinner fell short at critical time. How about instead of doing a dinner in which you try to be funny, the journalists actually go and do their jobs and, like, find out things and expose them? That's what they're supposed to be doing. They're not supposed to be having dinners with politicians and yucking it up. Indie Phantom, dying young, such a drag. Ba-dum-bum, psh. Let's see. What else we got here? The catch-22 of modern marketing campaigns. We are targeting our way to oblivion. I don't know. Maybe. I think the problem is there used to be television and you could put a commercial on and most people would say it. Now you don't have that. Everything's all disparate. And the internet rules. And what rules on the internet is nastiness. And so what tends to go viral is not anything nice. But a lot of what gets the money that could go viral in a positive way is so phony because it comes out of Hollywood. Like, for the Fantastic Four First Steps, like, there's no way that movie's going to go viral in a positive way. There's just no way. Even if the movie was good. If it was a love letter to fans, maybe. Maybe it could. Like, if they bent over backwards to please every Kirby fan like me and every comic fan, then maybe. Maybe people would champion it online enough that it would drown out any of the negative. But they're just not doing that. They're just doing their own thing. And they're at the same time trying to appeal to the internet. But they're appealing to an internet that doesn't exist anymore. They're appealing to, like, the old Twitter people. They're gone. All those old Twitter people left. I don't know where they are. I guess a lot of them are on Reddit, Instagram, places like that. Arnott, I made it to the shed. Was there, like, a pouring downpour and lightning? Did you have to run across a glacier? You are in Newfoundland. 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 That's how I'll say it. I picture a shed out on top of a glacier somewhere and it's melting and there are penguins. Reddit and Blue Sky. Yeah, and those places are dead, man. Oh, you don't want to go there. It's a dark place in those places. I post there and I hardly ever comment. Like on Reddit, you kind of have to in order to get the post. And the only place I go is the South Jersey subreddit, where I have a fighting chance of being okay. But even there, it gets a little political and antsy. There's a bunch of Antifa guys promoting there every day. They're unbelievably crazy, in my opinion. Oh my God, they're organizing marches against Jeff Van Drew every day, and the marches are equivalent to, hey, show up and we're going to shout at people. Like, that seems to be the entire plan. Arden, it's not icy here, just rocky, more like Ireland and Iceland. So, rolling green hills and sheep. So you had to fight your way. The sheep were biting at your feet. All right, now I get it. What else is here? Kenneth Brownow says Tom Cruise is an underestimated actor. He surprises those who view him only as a movie star. I think he's just a good actor. I mean, he works hard at it. Ardent, it's only 45 degrees, rain. We don't worry until the rain is approaching a single-digit angle from horizon. LOL. Let's see. BAFTA TV Craft Awards. Baby Reindeer, Slow Horses, and Rivals amongst winners. Like, who the hell knows or follows the BAFTA TV Awards? The BAFTA TV Craft Awards. First off, that's in the UK. So, you got the UK audiences. What are there, 90 million people in the UK? I think they got bigger problems than which TV show to watch. Right now in the UK, seems to be a lot of problems in the UK. And that you have to buy a TV license. Sure makes you feel like the award shows could probably go F themselves. What else? Sean Levy says Stranger Things taught him to keep my mouth shut for Star Wars Starfighter spoilers. I'm really grateful for that. Okay. Mike Myers defends SNL Canada protest after Elon Musk's response. It was not about me. It was about my country. Garth. I guess. What the hell happened to him? I mean, the guru really killed his career. He just disappeared. And now he's back, and it's like, why don't they get another Austin Powers movie going or something? Ardent. Oi, you got your license there, fella? License. What else? What else? Oh, dear God. David Tennant won't go away. Wishes J.K. Rowling no ill will, but hopes she will get out of people's way in the transgender community. Let people be. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? How did she get in anybody's way? How did she get in anybody's way? She merely supported women who are in women's sports. Trans people are invading the sport. What are they supposed to do? Oh, get out of the way. So what? Every trans person can dominate women's sports? It's insane, David. It's insane. Ardent, get bent, Mikey. You've been south of the border so long, you're a Californian. There's another guy. He's like the Pedro Pascal of the UK, this guy. He's suddenly speaking up for the trans. Why? Why? Look, I said 2 years ago to the trans people, this is unsustainable. You should form a group and you should make your peace now before you lose all your political capital. And it's gone. It's all gone. And like South Park. And it's gone. The political capital is gone for the trans movement. It's done. You're done. Now you will have to take whatever scraps you get. That's it. It's going to be a mess. And not for nothing, the left will abandon you. And the moment people like David Tennant and Pedro Pascal get that memo, they'll abandon you too. I don't believe for a second these people are sincere about this. They've glommed on to a cause, and that's just their cause. That's it. They picked one. Oh, I'll do this. Ardent, get bet, Mike. Oh, I read that one. Indie Phantom, get out of the way while I knock these girls on their asses. Yeah, it's like the Macho Man Randy Savage episode of South Park over and over again. With the Macho Man entering as a woman and beating the hell out of every female competitor. And all the women standing back and going, oh, I better not say anything. You better say something. You guys stand up like Riley Gaines and just quit. Just refuse to compete against these people. Just make them look like fools. Forfeit it all. Allow them to dominate everything until this looks as ridiculous as it is. And then they'll be forced to go, okay, we can't do this. Just make another league for them. That's all you have to do. So all you have to do is say, okay, do you want to compete? All right, we have a women's league. We have a trans league. We have a male league. You compete against the trans women. That would be fair. Ardent, it's like the back to church crowd just jumping on what they think will raise their profile. Yeah. Yeah, it's like they didn't get the memo. Wyatt Russell joked Avengers Doomsday media training included a knife to your neck to keep from sharing spoilers. You say anything and it's over. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad you finally got that organized. How about the part where you don't say anything political? Oh, right. That doesn't work. Never works. Because either someone like Pedro, who's too big, They can't shut him up. He's an A-lister. As long as he's on the A-list. But if Fantastic Four doesn't do well, they might kick him off that A-list. If it bombs badly enough. And he's out of The Last of Us. And that show's going south. But they won't blame him. They'll blame Bella Ramsey. She's done. She is cooked. Oh, I can't wait for the next episode. And the ratings plummet. Because the normies are finally glommed on, wait a minute, you killed off the character we liked? For the lesbian relationship? Why? Nobody knows why they did it in the video game world. It was even worse in video games. I mean, you're talking about a male audience. And you killed off the male. Like, that didn't make any sense whatsoever. And granted, they didn't have to kill anybody off. That's the best part. Like, they could have had a fight between the two characters and Joel could have lost, which would have been stupid anyway, but could have said, oh, all right, they're both alive. And then people would have went, that was stupid, but at least I can play Joel. Ardent, it's like the... Oh, I read that one. All right, moving on to Bounding in the Comics. Warner Brothers shows off footage of animated feature dynamic duo about Robins. So, they don't have any stills from the actual cartoon. This is a still from, I forget which movie. Indie Phantom. That show, very woke. Or looks very woke. Yeah, I don't know about the dynamic duo. I'm not sure who would be into this. I mean, there's a lot of Batman fans that like Dick Grayson, but that they're talking about the animation and not the story kind of worries me. But we'll see. Ardent, I think that's O'Donnell from Batman and Robin. Yes, I think you're right. Let's stop acting like the Fantastic Four First Steps female Silver Surfer has any real comic book history. Thank you, Bounding in the Comics. Yeah. This is going to be no bueno. It already is no bueno. Now, maybe if the Silver Surfer female character was completely naked, then you might have something, but no, she's not. It's just going to be, we need more women in the movie because we're Hollywood and women. Ardent, yeah, story-wise, DC Animated Universe was untouchable for a while. It really was. The Batman animated series was beautiful. And then it wasn't. And now, the comics, no bueno. Hollywood Reporter. Damian Thomas, actor in Twins of Evil at Hammer Films, dies at 83. That's terrible. Bruce Springsteen performs with Smokey Robinson and John Fogerty at the 2025 American Music Honors event. That doesn't sound great. Ardent, it's not going to be no bueno. It's going to be Nova old car bad marketing reference. Oh, wait a minute. I think I just figured out why Pedro Pascal is so big on the trans thing. The younger sister of Pedro Pascal says she's incredibly proud watching her brother's Hollywood domination. People have been asking me, is he kind as we think he is? And I'm like, yes. Pedro's taught me there's no reason to hide who I am. Okay, so he has a transgender sister? I'm guessing. I can't tell. The main reason I've gotten from him, there's no reason for me to hide who I am, and I think people are seeing that. Okay. I guess she's trans. I guess. So now it makes sense. I don't think it's going to work. So, in fact, what's going to happen where all this trend goes away and Pedro Pascal wants to get work? Let's see. Who else? American Psycho team reacts to Luca Guadagnino's planned new film. They have their work cut out. Okay. Not sure why we're rebooting that. Ardent. Explaining my joke. When Chevy tried to market the Nova in Mexico, they didn't understand why it failed until someone figured out that Nova in Spanish, Nova, means doesn't go. Ooh. Has-Been Hotel offshoot Hell of a Boss gets Prime Video run. I thought Hell of a Boss was the first show and Has-Been Hotel was the second show. But I'm not sure now. But I do like Hell of a Boss. The characters are total degenerates, but it does take place in hell, so it kind of works. All right, moving on to Bleeding Fool. Let's see. Disney's lowest rated film ever, Snow White's 1.5 rating as IMDb record. Warner Brothers won a key ruling in the Superman copyright case, clearing the path for the new film's release. So if you were hoping that the Schuster estate would block the release of Superman, hope no more, because it's over, and the Schuster estate apparently lost. Alex Ogle is here, and he's posting like a madman. Alex Ogle, evening bigots. No pitch this week as I've been watching some Heels versus Babyface, FNT, and The Critical Drinker with Mahler, and have reached the conclusion that not only does media suffer from a dearth of talent writing, but there seems to be a troubling lack of literacy and intelligence amongst the audience too. Far too many people complaining and far too few actually able to write. I agree. Ardent, at Alex, evening, you prejudiced mongoloid. Jeez, don't flag me, YouTube. You put it on the chat, so it's okay according to your own standards. Yeah, it's really hard for people like myself to get people to talk about your work because you're going out on a limb if you're just talking about somebody's work that no one's ever heard of. And it's not going to set the ratings on fire necessarily unless there's some sort of hook. Or unless, I don't know, you present it the right way. But I said this a while back. I mean, I said the anti-woke guys were going to run out of material and then start scraping the bottom of the barrel. It's kind of true for the guys who are criticizing geek stuff in media. At some point, they're just going to run out of stuff to criticize because I think some of these guys they're just not going to put out stuff anymore. All this geek stuff's going away. It's going to become very marginal again. And I'm not sure what's going to come out, but it's hard to do a 2-hour podcast about why you think the latest drama is not dramatic enough. That really not gonna, it doesn't have the fan base. Like Superman and Star Wars and all this stuff had these humongous fan bases that were loyal for a reason, and now they're just out there. Let's see. Ardent. Wait, people still think that word is bad? Who uses it except as a joke? I don't know. YouTube? Alex at Tony DiGerolamo. It's okay. At Ardent was just alluding to me coming from Mongolia, even though I don't. Ah! Yeah, that makes sense. Right, YouTube? Right. Ardent, LOL. But there's still stuff around. Like I'm seeing this ad for Nexus on the right here. Like Mike Barron's cranking out stuff all the time. He's a big enough name you could talk about him. And the stuff going on in Nexus is pretty complicated. That is a long history. That is an amazingly long history, going back like 40 years. So they could be talking about stuff like that. But they got to make the transition, and it's really tough because there's a certain energy in tearing stuff down that you just don't get when you're trying to build it up. It's a slower process when you're building stuff. And it's easy, for me to come on here and trash all the Hollywood movies, but at the rate things are going, I'm going to have to look for, something else to talk about, because what the hell else is there to talk about in movies? Most of them are total trash. And you also got to have some amount of training. And this is, to me, what happened to Ethan Van Sciver. Ethan Van Sciver didn't really understand where he was headed with his podcast, which is why I think he's mostly done now. I haven't seen hide nor hair of him. I think he self-destructed to a certain extent. I mean, he was making probably insane amounts of money at one point, but, on his podcast, but I don't know why he did that. I mean, you're always going to get a dip in your podcast or video channel. You just got to ride through that. It can't be money all day and all night. And you got to spruce it up a little with some other things, like, like Ethan had a warehouse where he was keeping Cyberfrog and stuff, but he doesn't have a big staff, so it wasn't like he could interview the various people involved in Cyberfrog. He could have gone to his warehouse and given us a tour, I guess. That would have been one video. But after a while, people just run out of stuff to do unless you find something to do, right? So that's why I do the trailer reactions, because they're short, number one. Number two, I think I'm providing a service while I'm analyzing the trailer for people to give them a sense of, like, what is this about? Am I going to see the same damn thing? I'm sort of trying to force them to think about it a little more, I guess. And then that way they could look at the trailer and say, oh, maybe I will go see that movie. Or, oh, I don't want to see that movie. That sounds terrible. He's right. It sounds like the same thing as another movie I saw. But not everybody sort of understands the dynamic of this exchange we're all having here. Indie Phantom. Yeah, EVS is still out there on YouTube. Came across him recently, but he just seems to roam with a different crowd. Oh, okay. Indie Phantom, I do enjoy the trailer reactions. Thank you. Thank you very much. Now, one trailer I didn't react to this week was the Disney Predator trailer, because it was a teaser. Let me see if there's a still here. Yep, there it is. So that's the new Predator. And as you can see, his head is completely different. Like, his head is thinner, and it makes him look weirder than... He doesn't look like the Predator in this pic. He looks like knockoff Predator. Or a Predator that's malnourished or something. And a lot of people were complaining about it this week. And I can understand why you're complaining. There's a couple of things wrong with the teaser. Again, I'll wait for the full-length one, but... I mean, I don't think it'll be good, don't get me wrong, but here's the two main problems coming out of the teaser. Number one is the Predator's using a sword. And as Sargon of Akkad points out, a sword is not a hunting weapon. You don't hunt with a sword. Like, you don't run around and chop up turkeys or, You know, it's just not. It's not a weapon of hunting. It's a weapon of war, which is true. So that seems to be inappropriate for the Predator and an indicator that the makers don't really understand their task. And then the other thing is the design is so different, and that is probably the result of the Hollywood system, in that the guys designing it purposely gave it a different design because they would, number one, get to be, get the proceeds from that alternative design, which had to be different and yet kind of similar. And then, of course, the makers of the movies and probably the directors and the producers were like, well, we want it to have a different look, so then we can take credit for the Predator movie if it's good, right? So if this is like the greatest Predator movie ever made, which it won't be, then they could say, oh, well, see, it was us and our new design and everything we did, and we're geniuses, and give us another pile of money. So that's what tends to happen in Hollywood. It goes back to my story about the Batman uniform with the nipples on it. Like when Joel Schumacher put nipples on the Batman costume, he was the costume designer, and he wanted to put a thing on there so he could say, oh, I put nipples on the Batman costume. I'm genius. But it was stupid and unnecessary, in my opinion. So why did he do it? Well, because if his movie blew up, he could say, oh, well, I put nipples on the Batman costume. I'm a genius. Ardent, I expect this to be a different species of Predator. The memes coming from it are pretty mean to the certain former first lady. Oh, the funniest one I saw was, I'm so sick of them putting Zendaya in every movie. I thought that was genius. But yeah, will it be good? Look, I love the first two Predator movies, especially the second one, but I don't think they compare. The only one I liked after that was the one with Adrian Brody. I like that one a lot. It's okay. It's not great, but... And I still haven't seen the one done by Shane Black, but I definitely have to see it. Ardent Lamau. I say I'm going to reserve judgment until at least a full-length trailer comes out, because the other movie, Prey, that struck me as being a little woke, because they had a female protagonist that seems to beat the Predator. I don't know if I believe that, but maybe she was pregnant. I think that might even be the big reveal in that movie. She's pregnant, and that's why she can get away with going after the Predator or something. I don't know. I didn't see it, but yeah, I don't know. I had a couple of pitches for Predator back when it was at Dark Horse Comics, but Ardent, Predator, two Predators greater than Predators. Agreed. Oh, Predator 2 greater than Predator, and Predators. Agreed. So, I mean, I just want the basic concept, and it's a very basic concept. The Predator shows up to battlefields because they're high heat things, and that attracts the Predator, and there's lots of action, and that's what the Predator wants. Again, I think it's a huge mistake going to their planet and showing us the origin of a Predator. My theory is that this is a young Predator, which is why his head looks different, and he hasn't grown into his body yet. You know how kids look different when they're young? So the idea is, well, we're going to make a super young Predator. He hasn't left the planet yet, and he's on the home world of the Predators. But I don't think that's a good idea, because you're going to have to outline the world of the Predator. And I don't have a confidence in Hollywood to do that right. I just don't. I think it's cooler that we don't see it, but we hear about it and sort of piece it together ourselves. Indie Phantom, fun cast and setting in Predator 2, LA Warzone. Yeah. It was the not too distant future of LA, completely in a war zone, with Danny Glover huffing and puffing his way through the movie. It was unbelievable. He was basically Murtaugh versus. It should have been called Murtaugh versus the Predator. Ardent. Oh, the Predator. Shane Black's second one. It was interesting. And I still haven't seen it. I want to see it just because Shane Black did it, but I don't hear good things. So I don't know. You know, I'll reserve judgment. Maybe this will work out, but in the state of Hollywood, I don't really have confidence in these people anymore to even make a simple concept like the Predator. There's so many things you could do with this concept in war zones. You could drop them right into a certain war that's happening right now that everybody's talking about. Could have dropped them into Ukraine. You could have dropped them in Iraq. I mean, there's so many places you could drop this character and just make a movie about it. Ardent. Oh, the Predator. Shane Black's. Oh, I read that one. Indie Phantom. Black wokeified the Predator a bit. Oh, no. That sounds awful. I'd be very upset if Shane did that. Oh, Shane, what are you doing? Don't do it, Shane. You're not woke. You're not built for woke, Shane. I've read your scripts. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. All right, over at Deadline, Francis Ford Coppola's Life Achievement Award. So if you want to see his speech, it's there. With no Trump and no comic, journos finally get the spotlight at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. No, I think they made a joke out of that. Look, again, stop giving yourself awards and go do your job. When you do your job, then later you can give yourself awards. The White House Correspondents' Dinner, one of the major things I like about Trump is he doesn't go. I don't think any president should waste a single moment of their time going to the White House press corps. Donald Trump vows to bring about major comeback for Columbus Day, which remained a federal holiday under Biden. Well, what he means is make the Columbus Day part of it big again. So we'll see. Again, Columbus Day, and I know people have feelings about it, but Columbus Day was created by an Italian immigrant and a Mexican senator from Colorado in the early 1900s. And it was the progressives of that day who pushed for this holiday because they wanted to look virtuous in front of all the Italian immigrants and to save the poor Italians. And that's why they pushed it. That's why there's a Columbus statue in every major U.S. city. Because during that era, that's what the progressives pushed. Now all the progressives hate it, but who do they have to blame? Ardent. LOL, just check Plex. The Predator is on Disney Plus and Netflix, or you can, but no rent option on YouTube for $42.99. No, thank you. Ardent. Oh, Tony, what did you think about the announcement of Hollywood looking at mandatory viewing guidelines for Academy Award voters? Well, on the one hand, I would say it's not a bad concept because a lot of these people, I suspect, just vote for their friends. But a lot of them will just lie, or they'll do whatever they need to do to get the thing so they can lie, right? So let's say they set up a system where, okay, you have to go to the theater and then you have to, scan in a thing on your phone that says you're here, right? So maybe you go to the theater and you scan it in and then you leave. And you didn't see the movie, but you got the scan. Or you get your your IT nerd friend to hack it for you, and you get all the things checked off. I don't know. I don't know if that could work, but the problem with it is the Academy changed the rules. This is like the 5th, 6th, 7th, or 8th time they changed the rules in recent years. The first big change was when they said, like, everybody who was in the Academy got a vote, right? So every actor in the Actors Guild got a vote, including actors who hadn't been in anything for like 20, 30 years. So there were these people in Hollywood, they called them seat fillers, because they would show up in the Oscars and sit in the audience just to fill up the room if no one came, if certain people didn't come. And they called them seat fillers. And these were actors who you might recognize from something, but they weren't really in a lot of stuff. They're not super famous, and they're just kind of there. And they're still in the Academy, and they were still voting. And some of them are very old. In fact, a lot of them were. And so, and that was a problem well, not really a problem, but it influenced the vote. So you had all these older people voting in the Academy, which is why they would vote a certain way. And the Academy got frustrated because it went woke, for the lack of a better term, and it was trying to push all the movies that were woke, and they weren't voting for them. So then they changed the rules to basically marginalize those voters or get rid of them. I'm not sure. Like, you had to be in good standing, I don't know, in recent years to have your vote. So they took a bunch of votes away from old people, basically. So now a younger crowd is voting for the movies, which you might say is an improvement, but I say is not an improvement, because younger people don't know as much. So what are they going to vote for? And they're way more likely to cheat on this thing than anybody else. Not the old people. The old people aren't going to bother to cheat. They're going to be like, oh, I saw that movie, I liked it. Oh, I saw that movie, I hated it. So I think that was a bad move. And then they changed some other rules in the Academy. They changed movies' qualifications to be in the Oscars. So you have to meet their racial quotas to even qualify to be nominated for the Oscars to begin with. So some movies and TV shows just aren't going to qualify. They're just never going to be thrown into the mix, ever, because they're not woke enough for the Academy. So the entire Academy is falling apart, in my view. So this isn't going to do anything. It will slightly make people force more of these idiots to watch their woke movies, but who cares? The movies are terrible. They're terrible. Like, some of these movies have no business being nominated for anything, and yet they are. And that's been a problem for years, too. They're just actors who are getting older, and they decide, oh, I'm going to make my Oscar movie now. Please give me my Oscar, please. Gibbs Oscars. Right? So, like, and I think she was good in the role, but like Demi Moore in The Substance, that was her Oscar movie. She wanted to make a movie where she would be nominated for an Oscar. So she comes back suddenly out of nowhere to make a movie, and it was a pretty good movie. I didn't think it was Oscar worthy, but I thought it was pretty watchable. And she didn't get it. She was nominated though, so I don't know. Well, I guess she'll make more movies until she gets one. Same thing with like Will Smith and all these other guys. They all want their Oscar. They all want their due. This is why I feel that what was it? Angelica Houston. Angela, the woman from Wakanda Forever. I can't think of her name. But she wanted an Oscar. And she felt that Wakanda Forever was Oscar worthy. Which it didn't seem at all it was, because it didn't seem to do particularly well. No one seemed to like it. So the Oscars is effed. So you can change all the rules you want until you put it back to some semblance of normalcy and have a normal movie industry again that pursues story and quality entertainment, you can't have an Oscars worthy of anything. So that would be my response. It's not going to help. Ardent, Columbus Day? Who wants to celebrate a lesser Ohio City? Sorry, I butchered that. I'd rather Cincinnati Day. Indie Phantom, I would lie to avoid Amelia Perez. See, there you go. And yeah, that was another movie. It had no business being at the Oscars. None. And we all know why it was there. It was there because Hollywood decided, okay, now it's time for a trans person to win an Oscar. And it's time for a trans movie to win. And we're going to nominate it. And it's going to win all kinds of Oscars. And we're going to look like great people for doing that. That's the only reason it was there. I mean, the clips from that thing were abominable. They were abominable. It sounds stupid as F. So, no. No. What the Oscars used to be, and it was a clique. It was a different kind of clique back then. It's just a group of actors and industry people getting together, smoking and drinking and saying, who had the best movie? You did this year. Oh, Frank, I wish I did. And it wasn't that big a deal. Now that it's a big deal, it's completely ruined. There's too much money involved, so all the studios are going to stab each other in the back trying to get an Oscar. But now they're not even worth anything, so that's probably a good thing, but it has to die. It has to basically completely die until we're back to not showing the Oscars on regular television. Like, just show it on C-SPAN or something, like nobody cares. And then maybe you could have a halfway decent Oscar night based on merit, and then later you could announce the winners and people could go, oh, good or not, and the hardcore movie nuts like me could watch it. Not the regular people. Sorry, I'm belching up a storm. Ardent, Gary from FNT Neurotic suggested embedding a 4-digit code in the credits. Yeah, that could work. I don't know. Again, I don't know what good that'll do because the awards are meaningless now. Alex Ogle, polling day in Canada tomorrow. I can't wait to vote Liberal because I'm from Mongolia. Ardent at Alex Ogle. LOL, you'd have to be from Mongolia to vote LPC. I've been saying a lot of pro both conservative parties poll results on X. Oh, good. Maybe there's a chance. Ardent, Angela Bassett. That's her name. Thank you. Ardent, her best role was Mace in Strange Days opposite Ralph Fiennes. I don't remember that. All right. Continuing. Yeah, here's the 50th AFI Life Achievement Award dinner for Francis Ford Coppola. It's one of the starriest and most heartfelt tributes of them all. So good luck, Francis. He's had his last movie. Strangely enough, he just put out a Megalopolis graphic novel, I S You Not. That dropped a few days ago. I talked about it on Hollywoke Hot Take. I don't know why this happened, but apparently someone thought it would be a good idea to make a Megalopolis graphic novel. I don't think it's a straight up adaptation of the movie. I think it's stories that take place in Megalopolis. So JEC, I know what you've been working on now. Congratulations to your new comic. I'm just joking. All right. Ralph Macchio pays back Francis Ford Coppola $5 from the Outsiders set at AFI Life Achievement Tribute. Okay, must be some inside joke there. There's more on Pink Floyd. Cheech and Chong on how much they made from the first film's huge, horrible deal. Okay. I mean, probably. But, make more movies. I mean, people want to see Cheech and Chong movies like in the old days, but whatever. Ardent. Strange Days was pretty good. Tom Sizemore, Juliette Lewis, Michael Wincott, directed by Catherine Bigelow. That was the one that took place in the not too distant future, right? It was like New Year's and some intrigue going on. Indie Phantom. Megalopolis is a world we needed more of. Just like Southland Tales has 3 graphic novels. Are you S-ing me? It does? More on Francis Ford Coppola. Adam Driver praises Francis Ford Coppola for not letting the money dictate Megalopolis at AFI Life Achievement. Well, he certainly didn't do that. You got to give him that, JEC. You got to give him that. Ardent. It was set for Y2K. Tried to play on the hype. Robert De Niro thanks Francis Ford Coppola for not casting me in The Godfather. Okay. Had to make it about him, did he? Over Cosmic Book News. Doctor Doom's Battle World teased in Avengers Doomsday leak. Alright. That looks like an AI image of RDJ. Let's see if there's a picture. I don't think there is. The leak comes from drones used high above the set, offering a look at potential footage and spoilers. Spoilers, everybody. Spoilers! That doesn't look like it's from a drone. Okay, here it is. This was, yeah, this was like, it looks like a giant set with craters? So, we've got Chris Hemsworth, Vanessa Kirby, Anthony Mackie, Sebastian Stan, Paul Rudd, Wyatt Russell, Letitia Wright, Eben Moss Barack, Tanakh Hurto Meja, that's Namor, Simu Liu, Florence Pugh, who? Kelsey Grammer, Louis Pullman, Danny Ramirez, Joseph Quinn, David Harbour, Winston Duke, Hannah John Kemen, Tom Hiddleston, Patrick Stewart, Ian McClellan, Alan Cumming, Rebecca Ray Jomin, James Marsden, Channing Tatum, Pedro Pascal, and Robert Downey Jr. Yeah. Here's the Galactus leak. Is there a picture? Yeah, there you go. So there's, I think that was the trailer. Ardent, Danny Ramirez, Ghost Rider with the car. No, I think it's, I think Danny Ramirez plays like the new Falcon to Anthony Mackie. There's Galactus's foot stepping on New York. Big deal. I already saw this. What else? More on the Predator. The Fantastic Four MCU comic book confirms Mole Man. So I know you were waiting for that. Ardent, Joaquin Torres Falcon? Yeah. So Mole Man and a comic based on the movie where Mr. Fantastic has a mustache. No thank you. More on Revenge of the Sith. More on Superman. Oh, and where did all the Marvel fans go? Daredevil ratings embarrass Disney. Can Disney be embarrassed by anything at this point? Ardent. Oh, yay, Mole Man. Hello, Mr. Sun. You're certainly doing your job today. Oh, dear. That's the Mole Man I want to see in the movie. All right, over at the Wrap. Nothing here. Justine Bateman blasts woke mob mentality and celebrates Kamala Harris's loss. It got really insane. So Justine Bateman's been super based on X, I think. Been saying cool stuff about movies. And she released some kind of, I don't know, some kind of, oh, what's the word? You know, one of these esoteric arty movies. Oh, what the hell do they call it? I can't think. I'm so fried from sitting out in the sun all day. Ardent. LOL. FF versus Hans Moleman. I'm in. Yeah, exactly. Oh, what's the word? What's the word? It's a certain kind of movie. It's super pretentious and it makes no sense. Ardent. Auteur. No, not auteur. It's the other word. Experimental. No, that's not it. Avant-garde. That's it. Thank you. Indie Phantom. Avant-garde. She made some avant-garde short. And put it up on X, or at least part of it. And I just thought, It had like clips of a bunch of different things, including clips of herself. And like, I was just like, it just felt like you just slapped a bunch of clips together. So, you gotta do better, Justine, is what I'm saying. Too pretentious, I say. But her attitude, I like her attitude. So hopefully she'll make a good movie. She keeps talking about making movies. I don't know if she actually made one recently. Let's see. The 5 host Dana Perino dissolves into uncontrolled giggles over perfectly normal pictures of David Hogg. Oh, they were not perfectly normal. There was a picture of David Hogg. That wasn't it, but there was another one where he had a t-shirt on and you could see how skinny his arms are, and that was pretty freaking hilarious. So I wouldn't blame her for laughing at that, because he talks a tough game, that kid. All right, over at That Park Place, Dragon Age creator slams BioWare over perceived Mass Effect favoritism in Blue Sky Firestorm. Video games continue to annoy me. Ardent. David Hogg described as either perfect or normal. Lies. Why do you lie? Sam Neill joins the Monsterverse. Jurassic Park star boards upcoming Godzilla X Kong sequel. Indie Phantom. She has a short film fest that looks cringe. Sam Neill is dying of blood cancer. I don't know how this guy's still alive, much less being in another movie, but God bless him. I like Sam Neill. I hope he, gets cured, but he was in rough shape. But cool, he's in a new movie. Nintendo Switch 2 pre-orders sold out instantly despite steep price tag. So, once again, proving that video game people will continue to take it on the chin. Because they love video games so much, even though they're woke and terrible now too. Tokyo Disneyland doubles down on Splash Mountain with new Get Soaked Max Plus summer event. That sounds fun. I don't know what it is, but it sounds fun. But there was a woman this week who sued Disneyland because a wave knocked her over, and I think her kids too. And she sued the park for $2 million because she said the wave was too much. Like, it shouldn't have been that forceful. So I don't know if she's going to win. I don't know if I support her or not. It was a bit gray. At first I was like, no. But then I started reading the article a little and it was like, well, it's a bit of a gray area there. But I know what Disney's response is probably going to be. They're going to be like, that's it. Nobody gets wet in the park anymore. We're going to put up barriers. Everybody's going to have a safety vest. And you're going to have to wear a tag if you want to get wet. Like, that's what happens, though. Like, parks are dangerous in their own way. Now, Disney One time had a really dangerous portion of their park. There was a incident with an alligator in it. Just came right up and bit a kid. I think it killed him. Like a little kid. That was a few years ago. Ardent, it's a Disney park. They signed a waiver by subscribing to a free trial of Disney Plus 10 years ago. Oh, okay. Well, Disney's okay then. Thank God. I wouldn't want Disney to get sued. But I used to work at the most dangerous park ever, Action Park. Well, actually, I worked at Action Mountain. Action Park was in North Jersey. Ardent. Oh, the river cruise thing? It was on the river cruise? I don't remember where it was, but it was something in the park, and like, I don't know. Kid got too close to the water and the alligators got him. But I worked in Action Mountain, which was the second action park back in the 80s. And this park is so legendarily dangerous. They made a documentary about how crazy and dangerous it was. They had a ride in the North Jersey park. It was just called the Cliff. And here was the ride. There was a cliff, and you jump off of it into the water. That was it. Indie Phantom, love the Action Park doc. Yeah, I worked at Action Mountain, and we had a ride, and they had one. Ardent, 2-year-old was killed by gator. Yeah, that was it, from CNN. That was in 2016. Thank you. So we had a ride in the park that the North one had, I think, too. I called it, I forget what it was called, but I called it the cement toboggan because that's basically what it was. So they had this cement, like, do you ever see those slides in when you play Mousetrap and the silver marble goes into it and goes back and forth and then goes down like a thing? So there are sides to it and it fits the marble, but it was like concave like this. So that's what it was. But it was about the size, it was about this wide, and then he put a sled on it. Now the sled was not connected to anything. It was just made of plastic and had wheels on it and had some metal. And there was a bar that came up between your legs that you were supposed to hold, and if you pulled back on the bar, it would break the wheels. And if you pushed forward on it, it would let the wheels go and you'd keep going down. And the only thing that kept you going on this ride was the hill that it was built on. So we had two major accidents that I saw. The first one, which happened quite a bit, was if you had a fat guy on the ride, there was a spot towards the end of the ride where the toboggan would come down and would get stuck underneath this bridge. And on top of the bridge was a girl with a walkie-talkie. And as soon as you went underneath her, she would talk in the walkie-talkie to the top of the hill and say, go, which meant send the next rider. So, of course, everybody worked for minimum wage, and she would just sit there, and as soon as she saw somebody, she'd just be like, go, 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 go. Well, often a fat guy would get stuck under the bridge, and so the next kid would be coming, and the fat guy would be sitting there going, why isn't the ride moving? Because he thought it was electronic somehow, so he didn't think to like get out of the ride and push it or just get off the stupid ride. So he'd sit there waiting for somebody to help him, and nobody would come, and people would be shouting, there's a guy under the bridge, and then the next toboggan would come down and go bam right in his back. And so they sued the park. And then another time I was up on a ride I used to call the death tubes. It was basically these giant sewer pipes you'd slide down into water that was perpetually kept at 69 degrees because the owner liked to look at pert nipples, let's say. He was kind of that way. Anyhow, I'm on the top of the death tubes doing my own version of go, go, go. And I look and I see a kid coming down the toboggan like fast, like super fast, faster than I ever seen anybody. Now it was her birthday. She was about, I'd say 8 or 9, and she was in like a party dress. But this was a water park. Like she should have had on a bathing suit or like street clothes, but I guess her parents didn't really understand what the park was about. So they sent her down on the toboggan and they didn't tell her how to pull the brake. So she just sat there and she's watching and she's coming down the hill. I'm going, no, 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 no. Pull the brake. And she hit the end. Boom. And just went. Oh, it was awful. It was awful. Anyhow, that was my play. One man play. Tony works at Action Park in the 80s for minimum wage. I have more stories, but it's only so long of a podcast. All right, let's get into Breitbart. What the F? Desperate Dems use profanity in an attempt to snag votes. The rise of dark woke. I have no idea what this is. I just assume it's stupid. Let's see what's going on in entertainment. Breitbart usually has entertainment headlines that are pretty good. Rosie O'Donnell launches long unhinged anti-Trump bat-ass crazy. That seems par for the course for her. She's been doing a lot of anti-Trump tour. She moved to Ireland and then immediately got right back on CNN to complain about Trump for some reason. Kennedy Center goes based, cancels all Pride Month events, angering LGBTQI AAP2S+. Cultist. As I said, it's over. Ardent, LOL, the Irish are telling her to F off already. Yeah, I wonder what's going to happen when, like, Ireland is in an accelerated version of what happened in the UK already with the immigrant population. So I'm wondering what's going to happen to her. If she's finally going to go, oopsie, there's a lot of immigrants here with nothing to do. Seems like a dangerous situation, but she seems to think she's in paradise. But then again, she's super rich, so who knows? Let's see. Kanye West gets banned from Twitch just 7 minutes after the bad guy from Germany salute rant about impregnating Paris Hilton. Ardent, Ireland is speed running. Canada is close behind. I'm sorry to hear that. I hope your election goes well, but it doesn't sound like it's going well. Maybe the deep state will fix it on behalf of you and Trump. But yeah, Kanye West, I think he's out of his mind or he's a genius. I can't decide. He just keeps getting an insane amount of attention. Like, he strikes me as the mental guy that the Democrats think Trump is. That he will do anything, Kanye West, to get attention. Like, literally anything. And he's got so much money, he just doesn't care. Ardent, I would prefer the deep state just say they'll buy Canada. I'm not opposed to it, but, you know, and Trump keeps saying he's serious about making it the 51st state. I had a dark thought about why this is happening in terms of, like, why Trump is sort of poking the bear in Canada and in the European Union. And my theory would be this. My theory is that Trump is going to do that in order so it'll accelerate your liberal side's demise, in that your liberals are way stronger than our liberals, right? And so on the one hand, it would accelerate their demise because the next incarnation of them are going to be so bad, even the woke tards in your country will go, oh, I didn't vote for this. Oh, this is not what I wanted at all. And they're going to wake up. And then the other part of that is, while you're being torn apart by communism, the United States will step in and we're going to make a lot of money on you. That was my dark thought about it. LeMay, I should have married Paris Hilton. I married an assistant. Is that what Kanye said? Jesus. I think he got back with Bianca Censori. I just don't get her at all. She must have been like, well, he's got $1 billion. I guess. How crazy could he possibly be? Turns out super crazy. Turns out so crazy, like he must get up every day. Sensori, get in here. I got to tell you what to wear today. Today you're going to wear this trash bag on your butt, and then you're going to wear these 2 copper kettles on your breast, and we're going to go out and we're going to get a lot of pictures taken of us. I'm going to wear this black version of the KKK outfit. Like, he just does anything he effing wants. Arnett, that was my Kanye impersonation. I don't think I was too far off. Arnett, for a little over $10 trillion, the U.S. could pay every Canadian $250,000 to convert to American. Well, it'll be a lot cheaper if your economy collapses first. I would love to see you guys join up. And, we could have a whole bunch of new states. I think, though, if we do that, we need to split up. We need to split up some of our own states. Your provinces are huge. LeMay, yeah, he was talking about Kim. Oh, Kim Kardashian. I think someone figured out that assuming Alberta went super red, we'd have, and then the rest of the provinces went blue, we'd still have enough electoral votes to win a Republican president. But I don't know. We still have to get our ducks in a row. Unfortunately, our elections are still very much hazarded by the deep staters and the Democrats. We've cleared out some of it, but not enough. Ardent, I mean, with all our oil and resources, you'll make that money back fast. Yeah, it's true. Indie Phantom, Alberta likely to leave Canada. If they could. Ardent, oh God, no. One big territory first. Do not let us vote in your elections until at least a generation has lived under U.S. law. Well, yeah, you guys would be territories first. And you know how that worked for Puerto Rico. So I don't know if you want to do it. Alex Ogle, the provinces are huge because they're mostly uninhabitable. That is true, but is that always going to be true considering all the global warming going on? Ardent, Alberta goes, we'd probably balkanize. Ardent, at Alex, largely, yeah, Newfoundland's interior just undeveloped. Yeah, I gotta imagine now that even the permafrost in Siberia is thawing out. I gotta imagine there's lots of tracts of land in Canada that are pretty thawed out, more than they would have been, say, 20, 30 years ago. Alex Ogle, anyway, we don't want you Yanks getting your hands on our birds, albeit Tricia Heifer is going off the boil. Well, you gotta take the good with the bad, Alex. Arnett, oh God, are you saying we'd produce another AOC? You could. I mean, then you'd have to deal with our AOC, and trust me, you don't want to deal with her. She is unpleasant. FCC pressures Paramount to cut DEI programs to complete Skydance merger. Okay. I don't mind that. I think they're likely to do it because these guys care way more about money than anything else. So I still got, I think, 2 shares of Paramount. I've been waiting for this merger to happen to get paid. Alex Ogle, she played number 6 in Battlestar Galactica. Ardent, goddamn snowback AOC sounds terrible. At Alex Ogle, just remind him of the chick in the red dress. That will work for me. Let's see. Bill Maher was all over the headlines this week. His trip to Trump's. Oh, excuse me a second. Get something in my eye. His trip to Trump's was blew up, And there was a lot of back and forth. And the big thing was, and I did a video on this, Larry David did a parody essay about Bill Maher going to have dinner at the Trump White House. But it was called My Dinner with the Bad Guy from Germany. And it caused a bit of a ruckus that Bill Maher responded to it. And I responded to it too. I thought it was like Larry David is a genius. He's a comedy genius, but he has severe TDS. He has severe TDS. Like, you watch the funny leave his body the moment he starts talking about Trump. Because that's when he gets super serious, and you just look at him like, what's happened to you, dude? It's happened to so many different people. It's a bizarre phenomenon to see. Because at that moment, you realize these people watch the regular news. It's the only explanation. People with severe TDS, they believe the news. And it's shocking to find someone who still believes the news. I still have a few relatives that believe the news. Like, most of it. If you ask them and press them on it, they'll say, well, I don't believe the news necessarily. It depends on the story or whatever. But mostly they believe the news. Because when you really press them on it, they'll say, show me what's fake. And that's coming from a position of, no, it's all true. You got to prove what's not true. And they can't imagine. And I've had a million conversations with people like this. And I've shown, like, the example I always go to is when Trump went to Japan in the first term. And there was this shot of him. And he was at the koi pond, and he had all this fish food, and he just dumped it in the koi pond. And the big story that week was, Trump dumped all the koi pond food in there for the fish, and he probably killed all the fish. He's an idiot. And then, if you go back onto YouTube and you watch the whole video, what you'll see is the Japanese prime minister going up to the koi pond and dumping a whole box of food. And then Trump watches him and goes, oh, that's what you do? And he opens the box and does the same thing. But it was only the second half of the video that most people saw in the nightly news. And that basically sums up the media coverage of Trump from the moment he was president until now. And, you have people like Larry David, in my opinion, who have TDS so severely, they believe that first video. And no matter what you tell them, they won't believe anything else. And it's sad because you can go back and check the video, but they want to believe so bad. They want to believe in that delusion. They want to live in that world because they're so emotionally invested in it, they can't back out of it. Alex Ogle, there's believing the news, and then there's having CBC, BBC as your approved state media. LeMay, LOL, I remember that. Circling back to Alex. The interesting thing is this. You have state media. England has state media. The Soviets had state media. Lots of people have state media. But they did a survey of people in countries with state media. And what they discovered was most people in those situations didn't believe the state media. They already knew it was lying to them. They just accepted it. It was like, well, they lie to us all the time. But people in the United States, since we don't have state media, but we kind of do, it is just a few more steps to it, they believe it because they don't know about those steps. And the other steps are, well, sure, you're a privately run media organization, but if you want access to the White House, you're going to have to report what we want, or we're not going to invite you here anymore. You're going to have to shill for us or go F yourself. Ardent, I've been calling the CBC maple-flavored Pravda. Ooh, that's a good one. I like that. All right, do I got anything else here? I think I usually end with Breitbart. Yeah, I think I'm done. Well, we can end on Natalie Winters again. I mean, she's cute. She's a cutie. Not too many pictures of her, though. The other Natalie Winters appears to be an actress in White Lotus. It's this picture here. So I don't know the other Natalie Winters. Alex Ogle, a friend of mine is married to a journalist. He forwarded me a video by the New York Times of Bannon saying the media is dumb, and then the reporter spending 20 minutes proving him right. My friend didn't like it when I pointed out exactly how. Yeah, it's a weird thing, because I grew up, watching television news where most people watch TV news, and maybe they read the newspaper to get a little more context. And then I went to college, and I actually learned how to make the news, because that was part of my course. Ardent, I believe the technical term is stacked. Indie Phantom, she is sexy, but probably high maintenance. Ardent, fair. And so one of the things I discovered, and this was in the 80s, was a lot of my contemporaries in the School of Communications spent a lot of time on their hair and on their catchphrases and making themselves look good. Which, you're on TV, you got to do some of that. But that seemed to be their high priority. Like, I met a girl, she was in my film class, and she was like, she wasn't Katie Couric, but she could have been, right? She could have been like, she had girl next door kind of looks, and we did a show like Good Morning America at my college. It was called something else, I forget. I think it was called Panorama or something. And it was the same damn show. It was just done by college students. And it was boring and terrible, just like Good Morning America is, in my opinion. But they practiced being terrible. We had our own sports coverage and news coverage. And it was the same damn thing. People in suits. The sports guys would practice their catchphrases. They love their catchphrases in sports. Ardent, quick pitch. Hallmark movie, Sydney Sweeney, in a bikini, works as a scallop diver in Newfoundland. When her equipment needs repair, she's pointed to a chubby, bald woodworker who charms her. Nice. That actually doesn't sound too bad. That actually does sound like a Hallmark movie. Only you're not going to be chubby to be in this movie. I mean, it's just, they just don't hire, they're going to hire handsome man for that role. I hate to tell you, Ardent. Alex, at Ardent, seems a little on the nose, but I'd pay for it just for Sydney Sweeney in a bikini. Yeah. It sounds like a hotel movie. But it would be pretty funny if they did put you in a movie. Well, with AI, soon you'll be able to put yourself in a movie. Ardent, the worst thing is I could write it. You absolutely could write it, and you could sell it. That kind of movie would sell. If you had the right agent or whatever, you pushed it hard enough. I had a friend, him and his girlfriend moved to Hollywood. And this was, this would have been the early 90s. And their goal was to create, and this was before the Hallmark Channel, their idea was to create the Romance Channel. I don't know if they were working on the Hallmark thing or if Hallmark stole all their ideas, but yeah, they were pioneering that way in the early 90s. And they were on it, man. They were like, no, this is going to be for women. It's going to be worldwide. It's going to be huge. I was like, I don't know, man. But it's big. Ardent, LOL, I was thinking non-horror Cabin in the Woods. Not a bad idea. All right. What time is it? Oh, it's 9:35. I got to start wrapping this up. So what have we learned today? Well, not a whole lot. We learned the Oscars are useless. Ardent, sounds like the old W channel. Yeah, it might have been that. Maybe it turned into the Women's Channel. Or the W channel. What the hell was that called? No, it was women. I think W was for women. Now everything's turned into the Women's Channel. We learned there are a lot of women things in movies, as always. The movies haven't gotten really any better, although Sinners looks promising. I gotta say, Sinners looks promising. I kind of want to see it. I'm leaning towards seeing it. Ardent, tonight we learned that nobody likes Mongolians. Indie Phantom, we learned that Star Wars is back. Kinda. Yeah, back to being, I don't know. Look, with Kathleen Kennedy is still around. There was an article, I think in the beginning of the week, how I guess she was leaving, and then very next day it was like, nope, she's not leaving. Like the very next day. Ardent says, but that smash like-ton, otherwise known as smash that like button, only for dyslexics. Yeah, so there was yet another rumor that Kathleen Kennedy is gone, and almost immediately there was an article that was like, Kathleen Kennedy on the next few years of her tenure. I think she's pushing that Ryan Gosling movie. I'm almost sure she is. She's definitely pushing whatever Dave Filoni's working on. Ardent, I think KK just likes to F with people. I guess. I think she just thinks she's right and cannot envision a world in which she changes her mind. And it's just a coincidence that she's female. Indie Phantom. Later, Indie Phantom. Later, haters. Later. Thank you to everyone who joined into the chat tonight. I will be back next week. That will be in May 4th for, I'll be at CCon next weekend, but I will be back by 7 for the live stream. Join me at the Galloway Public Library on Wednesday at 7 p.m. for my talk on how to hunt the Jersey Devil. And then on Friday at the Unexpected Farm at 5 p.m. for the first market of the season. LeMay says, bye-bye, LeMay. Alex Ogle, Kathleen Kennedy Randall do all by herself. She must have some sort of crew, a KK and K, if you will. Oh, boy. Ardent, I'm on with Yiz, the eunuch, on Discordant Dragons tomorrow night. All right, so look for Discordant Dragons. That's on YouTube, I assume, not on Discord. Good luck with that show. What else am I doing? Then on Saturday, I got something. I don't know what the hell I have. Hold on. Alex has corrected himself, and I have no idea what his correction means. Ardent, Yiz the Eunuch channel, also on Rumble. Yes, Rumble, where free speech lives. Let me see. Where the heck's my... there it is. There it is. What do I got in May here? White Hill Mansion Paranormal Expo. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's a big one. That's going to be in White Hill Mansion from 10 to 5. Oh, and I'm doing a talk there, too. How to Hunt the Jersey Devil. All right. Yeah, and the Farm Market Friday on the 2nd, I'll be doing it from 5 p.m. to dark, weather permitting. So if it rains, I'm not doing it. I'm doing a lot of those this year, so I'm just out if it rains. Ardent, or just follow my, anything. I'll shill the hell out of it like the attention whore I am. Good for you, Ardent. May 4th is CCon in Seabright Recreational Center in Seabright, New Jersey from 10 to 4. That's it for me, Tony D and Little Joan. We'll see you. Oh, if I can find my thing. In the next one. And end stream.